Welcome to this 10-minute expert insight video podcast produced by ENEA. I'm Charlie Ashton with 21K Consulting, and in this series of podcasts, we're talking to industry experts about trends and challenges in IoT, sd-wan, edge compute, and network virtualization. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Ray Le Maistre, who very recently joined Telecom TV as Editorial Director and has somehow found time in his busy schedule to have a quick chat with us. So, Ray, thank you. And before we start talking about the main topics for this podcast, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your new role at Telecom TV?
Sure. Thanks, Charlie. Good to see you again. So, yes, as you mentioned, I just recently joined Telecom TV. I'm just over 3 weeks into this job. Prior to that, I had a very short 18 years stint at Light Reading. So I didn't quite stay on for the golden clock, but yeah. So and then before that, I was working on other communications industry titles. So I've been editing and writing about the communications networking sector for more than 20 years, and now at Telecom TV. And what more interesting time could there be to be talking and analyzing what is going on in the world of communications networking and services. It's things are moving even faster now, and of course the importance of this industry has really has hit home to a lot of people who wouldn't normally think about it.
Yeah, I guess your timing was spot on here, wasn't it? So I guess we should start by mentioning coronavirus. So how is this pandemic forcing the carriers to change their strategies around, both their new service deployments and also maybe their business models?
So I think, from what I've heard from service providers to date, there's been two main things. One is, if this had happened 3-4 years ago, it would have been panic stations.
Wow. Yeah.
Because the shift in traffic patterns to home networking, away from city centers to suburban and basically not the core urban areas. Mm-hmm. There's been a dramatic shift in where the traffic is going to and coming from, of course. But just the introduction from the last couple of years of tools that enables them more easily to shift the management and of the capacity has made it a lot easier to deal with this, a matter of days compared to a matter of weeks.
Yeah. And
the other key thing has been that, and I've heard this from a couple of operators, that the last few months has dramatically accelerated the digital, I guess what people call digital transformation within these companies. And I think even some of them are talking about having implemented new ways of communicating with customers and new ways of delivering services in the past 3 months. They've actioned things and accelerated new services, new operational processes in a matter of months instead of a matter of years. But they've been able to do it because they'd already started down that path. So using social media to engage with their customers, being able to rely even more on chatbots for customer experience. And I think that having a few years of experience of having cloud-based or virtualized apps, and with the enterprise customers already having an installed base of white boxes and servers out there, has enabled them to be much more flexible and much more adaptable than they would have been in the past. So I think it's been a massive scramble, and they are working, hellishly long days and working really hard. But they have been able to cope with the current situation, and they've been able to do that in 2020 in a way they could not have done in 2017.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So kind of turning to the main topic now that we wanted to talk about, what do you see right now as the major near-term business opportunities in edge compute?
So I think there's two angles to this. First is, I think, exploring some possibilities in consumer services.
Yeah.
So I know in the past couple of days, and in fact, we've just run just today published on Telecom TV, a panel called Edgeonomics, where Telecom Italia has been talking about how edge computing really is the most sensible and most economic way to be able to even think about delivering services such as real-time cloud gaming, virtual reality, augmented reality, and of course there's a number of, I think the cloud gaming opportunity is already quite well understood due to a number of launches last year. Virtual reality, people have been talking about for years, but it's been very niche. Augmented reality, I think, is where a lot of companies see a lot more opportunity, and with some specific applications in certain verticals, particularly retail, for example, but also in media and entertainment. On the enterprise side, I think that's a longer term view, but certainly for the operators looking at the enterprise service opportunity that they have as part of their 5G strategies, well, really, it's, at the moment, the early 5G launches are really based on faster mobile broadband from an upgrade of the radio access network. The full exploitation of 5G's opportunities comes with lots of different elements, lots of things coming together. Virtualization, cloud native virtualization, of course, is one. The installation of the 5G core is incredibly important, and I think Edge will start to deliver some of those real new revenue generating opportunities for the operators, and that's going to require a hell of a lot of effort from the operators, buy-in and understanding from the enterprises, and a new type of relationship from the operator point of view, where they get to understand and know those enterprise customers a hell of a lot better in a way they don't currently, and a way in which I think local SIs or even the larger SIs understand those enterprises more at the moment.
Right. So what role do both, universal CPE or UCPE and also virtual CPE or VCPE platforms play in edge compute? And what do you think some of the challenges that the carriers are facing as they start to deploy UCPE platforms in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the universal CPE and virtual CPE models are, they're essential, I think, to edge computing actually taking off. The ability to be able to manage the resources and manage the applications that are available and running at any time on those edge platforms is absolutely vital. And I think with the advances in universal CPE and virtual CPE we've seen in the past few years, I think this is what is enabling that enterprise opportunity. This could not have happened in 2016 to 2018. This is a real, obviously we're starting to see examples last year. I think there'll be more this year. But I think it's a vital component in enabling this to happen. That's kind of the technology platform on which all of this is going to happen. And of course, virtualized network functions, that is a great starting point. But I think now there's a lot more focus on the cloud native functions, and that I think will bring a whole host of new opportunities, because I think of the flexibility in the management and turning up and turning down of services that will enable.
Yep. Well, that all makes great sense. So, Ray, thanks for these fascinating observations. For more insights from Ray and from the rest of the Telecom TV team, please do take a look at their website. There's some wonderful content on there, and it changes frequently, so I highly recommend it. Thanks very much for watching this podcast, and please look out for more 10-minute expert insights that are brought to you by ENEA. Thank you.